So we can start. I suppose there are a lot of people standing up. I don't know if there is any chair around, but you can take it. So welcome. My expert session, as the title explained, is a session that would like to show you my experience with the mobile technologies, mobile development. I'm a ABAPer technician, so this is an overview of my experience passing through from an ABAPer to a mobiler, so a developer of a mobile application. Okay. Just a quick introduction. So my name is Ivan Femia. This is my Twitter handle if you want to reach me. I'm a developer lead in mobile technologies for TechEdge Group. And I'm also an SCN contributor, active contributor, and also, as you see from my T-shirt, I'm a SAP mentor. For everyone that doesn't know the SAP mentor, what are? Basically, we are a group of about 100 consultant, SAP partner, or SAP employee that have been chosen by the SCN community and have been nominated by the SCN community and approved by the SAP as SAP mentor by their expertise in different fields. So let's go ahead. I would like to show you how I evolved as a developer, an SAP consultant. So I started as a developer that makes big input or whatever stuff is related to the ABAP side. And then I quickly moved to an expert ABAPer with the ABAP report, for example. Going ahead, I moved to the within pro technology. So I became an expert in within pro technology using new technologies that are available from SAP. Sorry if I go to in front of the screen. Then I moved ahead. As someone of you already saw before, I've joined into the Code Exchange platform. I released the ABAP open source project like ABAP 2XLX. And I was able to create tools for ABAP that can be used for everyone. After that, I became a sub-mentor, and then I became a mobiler. This is current status of my expertise. Once I start with a mobiler, I just consider which are the paths that I can go through just to develop or produce mobile application. So where I've been, I just figured out that there are different paths. The main distinguish have to be done by packet application and custom application. Once you go to the packet application, you can consider to use the synchronized application with MBO, the application using OData services like Gateway, or you can use also Cyclo that's joined the SAP world. If you go to custom application, currently you can use MBO with the synchronized possibility, Gateway, hybrid with container for a cross application with the HTML capabilities, or Cyclo application itself. So where I've been. My first experience with the mobile development was with the gateway application, standard gateway application based. For example, we had the possibility to install annual leave standard application and SAP travel expense application. This application is really simple basically to implement because you just put the packages in your system and makes the things run. There is nothing to do basically on this application. Then I have the possibility to be a part of the team of the first introduction of the retail execution application based on synchronization on MBO. This was the first worldwide release of this application. And basically, what is the effort that an ABAPer can have in this kind of project? Basically, from a point of view of mobile and SUP-related stuff, there is nothing to do because it comes from the standard. What you have to do is just to implement some bodies on the backend system if you want to see more fields or hidden some fields or whatever. If you want to configure something, you can just implement some body. Okay. Body. So basically, an ABAPer is already ready to do some kind of stuff. Basically, with the package application, an ABAPer can be really, really active on that. Then I have the possibility also, this is only for the Tech Edge labs. Basically, we don't release any custom application based on the gateway, but I have the possibility to see how to integrate, to develop a custom application using gateway technology, so your data technology. Here it comes the possibility that from an ABAPer to develop all the gateway stuff that are related. An ABAPer is ready to create gateway services. So it's pretty simple for an ABAPer. Then you have all the stuff related to the interface that we'll see in the after. And then we comes to the latest development process that I had. It was related to the synchronization, synchronized custom applications. So we developed several applications with my company that are going to production in the next days that use the synchronized capability. This is a really interesting challenge for us, and we'll go through and deeply on this case because I think that most of you can be more interested in this kind of application. But before getting into deeply the development phase, so when I started these projects, I just look around me and just try to collect which are the skills that we need for develop this kind of application. As you can see, it seems strange that ABAP is still one of the most important applications that you have to start a custom development project. SUP for sure comes important if you're going to go to develop a synchronized mobile application. If you're going with the gateway application, it becomes a little bit less important. But basically what it comes in my mind is that ABAP, for example, BW, or workflow technologies, let's say skills, are still interesting and very important skills for a mobile, for a SaaS mobile development. So, any of you is impressed about that, or we can go through? So, we try to play a game. Let's say, to play a game, I have to compose my team. We have to start this custom project, and how I can use my current resource to create a mobile application. So here we have NetWeaver expert, NetWeaver gateway expert, Afaria expert, Sybase on wired platform expert, BlackBerry, Android, iOS, HTML. Maybe in your company, you don't have these skills at the moment, but you can to reinvent yourself in order to be ready to develop custom mobile application. For example, we just consider the sub-basis guys. So sub-basis guys are fully integrated with the Afaria stuff. So sub-basis guys can find their world in the Afaria. Then we consider the ABAPers. So the ABAPers, where they are going. So basically, NetWeaver gateway, as I said, and also they can have an important role in Sybase and wired platform stuff. So configuring MBO, synchronization, and so on. Then we have the guys that works with the portal or PI. They basically are Java guys. So these Java guys are still very interested in SUP, but also they are naturally the guys that can be the developer for BlackBerry and Android UI application. So it becomes really simple for them to switch from Portal, PI, and BlackBerry and Android. And then we have the enthusiastics. These are, let's say, colleagues of mine, and also me, that join into the new stuff. Let's say HTML5 can be already in your company, but basically these new stuff are not the core of the current skills that you have in your company. And I have the fortune the lucky to come into the enthusiastic and I get my MacBook. So this is really one of the most advantages to come into this group. So, as I said, let's try to see deeply custom development with the synchronization, so MBO capability. Basically, you have your sub ECC or whatever, your backend, that communicates with through RFC with the SUP. So you create MBO based on the RFC, and you configure SUP in order to arrange the synchronization with the backend. Then you have the possibility to expose, to synchronize this MBO, so this cache database, with the mobile that you are going to develop. As you can see, you can develop applications that are based on Android, BlackBerry, or for example, iOS devices. So, now the major problem, let's say, the important things that you have to take care is the synchronization. Once you're working with the SUP as a cache, so a synchronization with MBO, you have to take care about how the device can synchronize with the backend data. Are the data already up to date to the device? What happens if a device, different users of the mobile application comes in conflict once they, for example, approve something or whatever? So you have to take care about the synchronization that you want to use in your application. For example, we have the different kind of use. For example, via RFC, you can create a synchronization through on-demand technology, so on-demand, say, configuration that is guided by the possibility that the device asks to the SUP to refresh the data from the backend. Then you have also the possibility to schedule this refresh. This is the scheduled cache. So the SUP refresh the cache, for example, each hour, each 10 minutes or whatever. And then you have the possibility to have the data cache notification. So it's not the device, it's not SUP to provide the new data, but it's the backend. For example, you create a document in your backend, you send a DCN notification to the SUP in order to update its cache. And then with the synchronization configuration that you have, you can synchronize the data on the mobile devices. Then you have also the possibility to interact with, for example, Apple push notification. We did it. And this is the DCN notification. These are, as I call this slide, sweet child of mine. So I would say, sweet children of mine. For example, this is an application that manages the workflow approvals with different tasks. We have different workflow, for example, timesheet, project budget, and so on. And this custom application gave us the possibility to modify the layout, the UI that users use normally. For example, introducing a lot of icons that helps the user to identify the task, to identify what they have to do. For example, we had, it's not shown here, but we have also applied filters with quick button in order, for example, to sort this task by expiry date or creation date or whatever. Then we have the possibility to create, this application works offline. For example, if I have no network coverage, for example, and I approve a task, this task goes into the pending task. So once I going to refresh again the application, it's going to write this information on the backend, and we have to manage the possible conflicts that we have in the approval phase. So we have, it's not shown here, but we have a message tab that show all the messages that the backend put out to the device with the, okay, your task is approved or not. This, for example, is a display of the task itself with the 3 buttons, approve, forward, or reject. But we also had the possibility to add some cool stuff that with the mobile you can use. For example, we had not shown here, for example, the travel expenses. Travel expenses is associated, for example, to a location. When I travel, I just say, okay, I spent €5 in that restaurant that is in Madrid. Why not create a link here that shows the restaurant into a map? You have the geolocalization of the restaurant. You have the possibility to interact with Google or whatever service or OpenStreetMap or whatever. So you can add the possibility to have the maps included into your application. This changes the user's experience. Then we have also the possibility in another application, this is related to the cost centers, show to the managers the current status of the cost center that he managed, to use the Makit library. I don't know how many of you knows the Makit library. No one. So Makit library is a standard library that comes with your SUP. It's not publicized very much, but basically you can create very, very interesting graphics with a lot of cool stuff. For example, you can drill down with this button. You can see the data not in a graphic mode, but in a table mode. You can also, with the finger, switch between the different data and show here the details of the data. So you have the possibility to create different graphics on a chart or a pie or whatever. So it's a very cool library. And you can use this library to give to the user also a great user experience. So, lesson learned. So what I learned about this experience that I have in the mobile technology. For sure, I know now how it works, the integration between backend, SUP, and mobile application. But I have also the possibility to work with the latest technology that, for example, iOS technologies have. For example, the storyboard. I had the possibility to work and to learn something new. I was not absolutely aware about the Xcode starting the mobile, but now I can develop a mobile application using the latest iOS technologies. I can now understand some common problems that maybe you don't consider in your development phase. For example, what happens to your application when you receive a call? I was approving something and I receive a call from someone. What happens to my application? Have to generate some dump on the application or whatever? So you have to manage the background mode. What happens? The phone call. What happens if the users click the home button on the iPhone? Sends the application on the background. So if I was synchronizing that moment, what happens to my synchronization? I will have corrupted data on my device or not? So you have to keep in mind this kind of events that are new for an ABAPer. You never consider that a user can close the sub GUI, for example. And then another example is what happens if I'm on a plane. I want the offline capability. I'm using the synchronization path. So I have to consider the network reachability, if I have network or not, and manage the action of the user based on these settings. Okay. So this is, I don't want to say old ABAPer, but it's the ABAPer. He knows this event, for example, start of selection, call screen 100 or whatever, process after input. How many of you have used all these statements? So, a lot of. Now, an ABAPer, what heavens have to manage? User tap background. User taps something in your application, not only in the home button of the iPhone, but just in your application taps something. What happens? What happens if a user pinch on your application? So try to zoom and all other gestures that all the device provides. And we have already discussed about that, but we have also maps. You have a lot of new ideas that you can introduce in your application. You can change the user experience really with the mobile. Just a suggestion, if you want to try some of the applications that we developed, my colleagues are in the Sapphire area at this booth, and you can try with them the technology we developed. Now I will, let's say, we have 10 minutes left. If you want to make some question on some topics, particular topics, you are welcome.
I'm not quite sure that I understand you right. Can I develop my app or an ABAP and then simply port it to the mobile, or do I have to change the code for this?
If you are considering the data itself, so if you are creating a report that collects data from some tables and then create a report, you can, or you depends on how you develop this application, this report, but you can easily create the function that exposes this data with an RFC, for example, or with the gateway, for example, if you want to go with OData, and then you can use this code that you already developed. Maybe some adjustment are needed, but the logic behind your code can be used. And this is where the ABAP, the real ABAPer comes from. So to adapt the current code that you have or create some new RFC to expose the data to the mobile. So the ABAPer is still on play. Any other question? No one? Okay.
About your experience with the hybrid web container.
Okay. As I explained, I have no possibility actually to work with the hybrid web container because currently no standard application use the hybrid web container for a packet application. So hybrid web container at the moment I'm not considering this application because I don't think that is. There's someone of SAP here. I don't know. It's not.
One.
Okay, I can.
Be careful.
Feel free.
Let's see how. For me, I don't feel that